Juneteenth, or June 19th, 1865, is the date that the United States government communicated freedom to the remaining human beings that were enslaved. More than 2 years earlier, President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation on September 22, 1862, notifying the states in rebellion against the Union that if they did not cease their rebellion and return to the Union by January 1, 1863, their slaves would be forever free. Abraham Lincoln read the proclamation, which stated in part that on the first day of January AD 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States shall be thenceforward and forever free, and the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authority thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of such persons, and will do no act or acts to repress such persons or any of them in any efforts they may make for their actual freedom. And I forward declare and make known that such persons of suitable condition will be received into the armed service of the United States to garrison forts, positions, stations, and other places, and to man vessels, all sorts in said service. And upon this act, sincerely believed to be an act of justice warranted by the Constitution upon military necessity, I invoke the considerate judgment of mankind and the gracious favor of Almighty God. Those states in rebellion ignored the proclamation. In addition, the proclamation did not apply to slave-holding states that did not rebel against the Union. This meant that hundreds of thousands of blacks were not covered by the proclamation. A Union-won Civil War and Constitutional Amendment would formally outlaw slavery. However, during the war, the state of Texas experienced an influx of slave owners who knew that the state was not overrun by Union troops. These slave masters, along with very little Union victories in Texas, prevented news from getting to blacks. Therefore, the enslaved human beings there did not know about the Emancipation Proclamation, which outlawed slavery in rebellious Texas. After the surrender of General Robert Lee on April of 1865, General Gordon Granger, along with over 2,000 troops, headed to Texas to communicate the news of victory and freedom to the enslaved blacks there. Granger arrived on June 18, 1865. The next day, standing on the balcony of Galveston's Ashton Villa, he read General Order Number 3, formally enforcing the Emancipation Proclamation. General Order Number 3 reads as follows. The people are informed that in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves, and the connection heretofore existing between them become that between employer and hired labor. The freed are advised to remain at their present homes and work for wages. They are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere. With this general order enforcement, over 250,000 remaining blacks in Texas were freed. Juneteenth, the celebration of emancipation, was born. The original festivals included rodeos, fishing, and baseball. Certain foods became synonymous with Juneteenth celebrations, such as barbecue, ice cream, and strawberry soda. Also, there are accounts of blacks tearing off their ragged garments and throwing them into the rivers. They then adorned themselves with clothes of their former slave masters. Today, Juneteenth is celebrated in more than 200 cities around the United States. On January 1st, 1980, Juneteenth became an official state holiday in Texas, granting it full state holiday status, a day when government employees have the day off. The National Juneteenth Observance Foundation and the National Juneteenth Christian Leadership Council are circulating a petition for Barack Obama, a supporter of Juneteenth, while the U.S. Senator to issue a presidential proclamation establishing 19th of June as National Juneteenth Independence Day in America. Everyone in this country should celebrate the commemoration of this country ridding itself of slavery.